Today, we're going to have a battle to see which controller right now in 2024 is the budget king. So today, I am looking at the Nova Lite. This is GameSir entry-level controller, still with halleffect sticks, for $24.99 on Amazon. So we're gonna go ahead and unbox this bad boy and get right to it. So first things first, you see that it's recycled cardboard, which means they saved on the cost for packaging. We're gonna see if the insides are recycled cardboard as well. Sorry, I have to undo the tape off camera because I didn't think to grab my other knife, my other packing knife. I do have a knife that I keep on a keychain, and I use that. It's something I got from Haber Freight. It's not sharp enough to like do bodily harm, but it is sharp enough to unpackage stuff. So there you go. All right. Wow, this is no frills packaging. So it's come straight out. Oh, hold up. Yo, I'm gonna like that. And then the normal GameSir fake guitar pick because it's a piece of paper, but I do like it. So they didn't even include a manual in that. So if you look at this, this says QR code, go to the operation manual. But this is what I'm tripping out at. Look at this. So it comes with a built-in case or cover. So we gotta crack this open. And there it is. Oh my God, this is fire. Y'all know I love having, especially with my Steam Deck, controllers with a case. So I'm already liking this. It's 25 bucks. You get a built-in case, RFID dongle. Of course, I'm gonna more test it for Bluetooth. A video that I plan to make soon. I don't like having too many of the dongles, but I still keep them on a pinch. I prefer, if I'm using something like my Steam Deck, I prefer to use Bluetooth or any other PC handheld. But, you know, a lot of desktops don't have Bluetooth, especially if you make them yourself, unless you take that in mind. If you make it yourself, then that's fine. But yeah. But all right. Well, that's the unboxing. Let's go ahead and get to testing, shall we? All right, we are in Gamepad Tester. So right here, as you can see, I am doing normal halleffect tests, and they snap to 0. As you know, I like to pull on the sticks to see if I can feel the strength of the magnets. And there are magnets in there. I feel it. It's got a nice little quick snap. Now, what's interesting is these magnets, I wouldn't say they're weak like what I found in some other controllers, but they're not super strong. They're like a good balance, which is actually what you need if you ask me for a Hall effect stick. Because when they're super strong, sometimes you're like, hey man, can I turn these down? Because they snap back like really hard, and you have no way to like turn it down per se. But this feels great. I like this. I like this. All right, let's go ahead and test the circularity. Hopefully the circularity is not that bad. As you can see on my screen, my mouse is also moving, so that means it's not on X input. I think it's on direct input right now, but that's okay. But looking at the numbers, I like to go around several times just to get a feel of the sticks and also see what's on the screen. So it says my right stick is at 2.7%. Whereas my left stick is at 3.7%. But this is not like the EasySMX controller where it felt like I had to push hard to do this. It's actually feeling quite smooth and everything. So that's good, and your use case may vary. So there you go. All right, guys. Now let's get some games and test it in some games.
How many pockets does that belt have?
If you watched this past Tuesday stream, you would have known that I was actually testing the Nova Lite while playing multiverses. And for the most part, it works pretty well in multiverses. But I really needed to test the D-pad because unfortunately multiverses is more of use the analog stick unless you switch it in options, which you can do and use the D-pad. But I needed to do a more traditional fighting game test. So of course I jump over to Street Fighter, play Akuma for a little bit, and it felt really, really good to use in a traditional fighting game. The D-pad is actually pretty solid, as you'll also see here in the contra text, which test, which I get true diagonals, and when I'm just rocking the up button, and only if I press really, really hard, I will actually start to move. So the D-pad is very, very solid. Now, of course, I had to test the analog sticks on something else outside of just multiverses. So I dive in to a hell dive, and you can see it works pretty well. It's just weird. I think it's something to do with how the controller registers when you plug it in through USB-C. I plugged it in through USB-C because I didn't want to wait to charge the controller, so that way I can test it right away. And it's like it doesn't do like a true D input. It's like it simulates mouse and keyboard, which is kind of weird, but it works pretty well. There will be times that where like sometimes you'll be pushing down on the analog stick and it kind of like stumbles for a little bit, and I feel like that's due to how it registers in the PC. I went back and looked at the handheld manual from GameSir, and it says it's supposed to work fine. The switching on the controllers is really for Bluetooth, the Switch, and Androids or mobile, Android slash iOS. So it doesn't really have a D input, X input type toggle. So that's kind of sad, but is what it is. I can admit when I'm wrong. So this guy right here for $24.99, it it's a really simple and clean Hall effect controller that will get the job done. Now, yes, it's Hall effect, and yes, it is simple and clean. But when you compare this to the X15 right here, so remember the X15 right now you can get it anywhere between $34.99 and cheaper with a coupon if you look around. This is $24.99. So, one, I would say for sure, if you're looking at something to play, uh, FPS shooters, fighting games, like an all-around controller to carry with your PC handheld, I would say go with this. And the reason why is one, D-pad. The D-pad on this, don't get me wrong, it's nice, but that dish style D-pad is gonna be a bit of a problem if you're trying to play like also fighting games. Now, this is perfect if all you do is play like FPS shooters or RTS games or stuff like that. But specifically fighting games, I'll give this the go ahead and the win. Now, if you're looking for something with a little bit more pro features where you have extra toggles and everything, the win goes to the X15 because as you can see, X15 gets the extra toggles and you can toggle it on and off. Whereas unfortunately the Nova Lite is a smooth standard controller. No extra bells and whistles. You do get turbo on it, but then again, I believe this one has turbo too. So I mean, mileage can vary, but if you're looking for extra programmable buttons, then you want to go with the X15. All right. How do I feel about the rest of it comparatively? Well, one thing I really like about the Nova Lite is the textured analog sticks. The X16 does not have any texturing whatsoever. So, very minimal on the sticks. And your thumbs, if you're not good at placement with your thumbs, like I know some people, they're not good with placement with their thumbs. Believe me, it's a thing. If you're not good at keeping your thumbs on the stick without like having a little bit more concave and texture, then your thumbs might slip off on the X15. Whereas the Nova Lite, you're gonna love it, and the sticks is just perfect. Now, granted, all you really have to do is get keycaps for this, affiliate link in this description, and you should be good to go with the X15 if you're more looking for that. Now, both of them, they got textured grips. This one has textured grips. This one, slight textured grips. If someone asks me which one I like more, it depends. I actually don't mind slight textured, but if you really want really, really textured, the X15 is the one that wins if you want really, really textured grip on your controller. However, the Nova Lite does have a slight texture and it feels great in the hand. As for buttons, um, they both got a mush style button, but they don't feel bad. They feel good. They're responsive. So I would say there's a tie when it comes to buttons. The face buttons. I always say buttons. I know people get on to me like, Breed, say face buttons. The face buttons. So pretty much a tie when it comes to that. Now, when it comes to the back bumpers and triggers, I would say the X15 is a little bit more clicky, if you can hear that. And it has a little bit more feedback, like punch back when you click down on the trigger. It like kicks back. Whereas the Nova Lite, less of a click, less of a kickback, feels good. So I would definitely say when it comes to which one is the budget king, it depends. I would say if you need a budget standard controller, go with the Nova Lite. If you need a budget, a little bit more pro style controller with some extra buttons, go with the X15. So $34.99 for this one, $24.99 for this one. Now, I will say, and I will remind you again, this does have one thing over the X15, and that is it comes kind of with its own shell case, which is really, really nice. Now, it does not come with a USB-C cable, so keep that in mind. This does not come with a case. You're going to have to buy a case separately, but it does come with USB-C cable, so keep that in mind as well. So there you go. All right, guys. I hope you like this battle of the budget controllers. Go ahead and give me a like, follow your boy, subscribe, and until next time, guys. Peace, love. Stay gaming, my friends.